Next, we move on to the next speaker, Mr. Hari Vignesh. Mr. Vignesh, he is a multi-potentialite, a unicorn developer, Android developer by day, and UX consultant by night. He works for startups in Bangalore, India. He is currently working for a social startup called Happa.org as an Android developer and a UX engineer. He also the world's first Google certified associate Android developer. He was featured on Google and was given a full sponsorship to attend Google I/O 17. He was also recognized as one of the topper at Interaction Design Foundation. He is also a Google Developer Group speaker. He also spoken to many colleges, tech events, and mentored many college grades and budding software professionals on personal branding and career building. He is also a guest writer at Packpop and he publishes tech blogs at Medium. His other hobbies include doodling, digital painting, and close-up magic. So let's welcome Mr. Hari Vignesh.
Good evening, guys. It's an honor to be here, and the participants are really exciting. And Monisha is quite engaging. I don't know who that is, but yeah, your questions are really nice. So, of course, thank you for the interview. Thank you for the intro and a very short introduction about myself. I'm Hari. I work for startups and, of course, Android developers by day and UX consultant by night. And this topic, user experience in digital marketing, it's not going to be very technical. It'll be short and crispy, I promise. And we'll be just talking about general methods and core principles that you can follow for any field if you are in, but I'm going to discuss especially for digital marketing. So this is the overview that we're going to see. So how UX is related to marketing. So that's what I'm going to start first because many might be wondering how user experience can be, be a subset of digital marketing. And next we'll see about common misconceptions about marketing as well as UX. And I'll say the reason that time why I'm including misconceptions here. Then I'm going to be sharing some 10 common UX principles that you can use for to make your marketing a better reach to the people, whoever you're marketing to. It can be for the clients as well as for the users. Then finally, we'll be talking about ripple effect. So let's get to the first thing, how UX is related to marketing. So let me just first clarify one thing, what's the difference between UI and UX. So only when you understand UX, you will know how it's associated with marketing. So UX is the extension is like user experience and UI is user interface. People usually combine this together, UI and UX, which is not quite right, but yeah, it's right in some ways. So user experience is the experience that you provide or your product provides to the user, how he feels about it. And UI is the medium through which the user interacts with your product. So on interacting with your product, how user feels is user experience. So a graphic designer, he creates UI, and a developer, he creates UI and tries to provide a better UX to the user. So this is how it is all connected. These might sound similar, but they're quite different. So how is UX related to marketing? Well, some people usually suggest they both are different. They both take different routes and they travel in the opposite direction. For example, UX is serving the people, and marketing is for selling to the people. So that's right to the extent. But when you see the actual intention of UX, every UX it's the built-up version of some common principles. So the common principles are nothing but common sense. So when you figure out certain common sense and when you add more value to it, data to it, more tools to it, and when you send it to the people, it reaches them better rather than it creates another effect. That's what's the ripple effect that I was talking about. We'll get there in detail. So when you see this diagram, you will find some UX principles can be used in marketing as well. So for example, my research, what I'm conducting on UX right now is I'm thinking of making UX a common principle for almost all domains. It can be design, it can be development, it can be product engineering. In whatever domain you have, you still can promote user experience and you can still get benefited with user experience principles. And that comes within. The change has to be within the organization. So that's how the UX and marketing relationship is. So we'll be seeing some of the UX principles that coincide with the marketing. So when you start practicing, and things will get eventually better, and you will have better reach to whatever you're actually doing, whatever campaign you're actually doing. So okay, so UX based on landing page, how it affects. So landing page is one important aspect where it depends on each thing that you're selling. For example, if you're selling a product, if it's an e-commerce, it's all different. So if you are specific to e-commerce, I can tell you like it's UX is nothing but mimicking the real environment. For example, you're going to a store, you're going to, let's say, Starbucks. Let's not take Starbucks. Let's say you're going to Shopper Stop or any of the branded showrooms. Now, what you see in the front is your landing page. Like, do you have an offer? You'll have an offer there, and you'll have some mannequins dressed with the latest collections. So, only by seeing that, people enter your store, right? So, when people are entering your store, you need to have all your USPs attracting things that you have on board and everything that has to come to the landing page or the home screen. So when you're designing a home screen, that's how you need to think about it. How would you attract a customer when they see your store? So in order to make them see the store, what all you need to do? So I guess I answered that question. Okay, Manisha is typing. So meanwhile, I'll just go to the next slide and let's get going. So common misconceptions. So let us see the misconceptions first. Yes, sure, Monisha, you can keep posting your questions. I'll answer these questions one by one in the end because it's little contradicting with what I'm explaining right now. And when I take it in that point, it'll be useful for me as well to get in the right path. So the common misconceptions, but you can still keep posting your questions. I'll take it at the end. Yeah. So common misconceptions. So what do we have here? These when some companies, digital marketing companies, approach the clients or you're an independent product selling company. So these are the common misconceptions that I have faced, and I should be these things should be addressed to the clients or the customers at the earliest possible. So let's see. The first misconception is graphic designers can help in marketing. Yes, they can help in marketing, but most people misconcept like hiring one graphic designer and giving him all social media handles and asking him to post a picture or a graphic design regularly at 2 weeks once or whatever interval they have, and that they call as digital marketing. So which is quite not, because graphic designers and CMOs has to work together to bring a digital marketing initiative for every company or an organization. But many of the organizations still believe like hire few graphic designers, some content writers, and that's it. Your digital marketing team has set up. You can go on with it, but no, you need to have a proper plan, establishment plan. Getting the brand to establish for some time and then scale it up with your marketing. So there are a lot of things. The roadmap is quite big, and many companies are not aware of it. So that's one great misconception. Next, marketing will increase sales. Yes, of course it will. But there is a common misconception. When I used to work with hospitals on digital marketing, and I'm supposed to create content and manage things. So when I was doing that, one common myth that hospitals or this might have some anybody can have this. So what I invested X amount in marketing, and I should be getting X plus or X square number of patients. So this is quite not right in the beginning, because when you start digital marketing for a hospital, let's say the example that I'm considering here, what you need to know is there will be certain time, in order to establish the particular hospital or organization, make the brand visible to the audience, and make the people aware what they actually do. And so this timeline has to be clearly explained to the client, even though if they did not agree or did not understand, it's our responsibility who we are trying to push, who we are trying to market. It's our responsibility to make them completely understand about the returns and everything. So if this is not happening in a while, this is not properly communicated, I'm sure my company has faced a lot of issues on that, because they claim that this month I've spent X amount in marketing and my patients have not been raised, or the customers, I did not get any new customers. But the purpose of digital marketing has to be properly clear to the customers or the clients, whomever you're working with. The third one is the attractiveness and branding promotes UX. Yes, it does. But some people think when you have nice UI, nice graphics, nice animations, it's UX. No, it's definitely not UX. So this is one way of attaining nice user experience, but it's not always. So when you have attractive UI and the branding, when you have nice logos, so these type of things will have to be first. The purpose of those items is to just grab people attention and link that to their particular memory model. So branding is basically psychology. When you see a logo, a typical McDonald's M logo, you definitely know it's McDonald's. And even though people who haven't tasted yet in McDonald's, they know it's still McDonald's. So that's because that's the brand, the ad that you give, everything. It registered in the people's mind, it linked to a memory model as burger. Let's say the typical common memory model you have is a burger. So the burger is associated with McDonald's. So that's the basic foundation establishment for every branding. Yes, after that, that's one step. And next step, we have so many steps for promoting UX. So that's not the end part. Usually, companies halt their marketing and their promotions when they have proper brand. But no, you have so many more things to do. And these are the common misconceptions. And why this conceptions is coming for UX in marketing, these misconceptions will hinder the user experience of the customers and the clients. It's not about your product's customers, but whom you're actually working with. It can be your organization, it can be your higher management, it can be your clients whom you want to digital market their product. So, user experience, once again, I told it's not only about the product, it's about the people as well. So, this experience will actually hinder the people's relationship and their investment, their time. So, everything is very valuable. So, if everything is clear to the people that you're working with, right from the establishment part, the journey, how the returns is going to be. So if that's all is clear, then that's the beautiful experience. That's actual user experience. So next, what we'll talk about is the 10 principles for better marketing. So the first one is graphic design's adaptability. So many you have seen, if you're running a promotion or offer, like season sales or the new collections. So I've seen the ad everywhere, like social, Facebook, Instagram, and it travels through all social media channels. But the graphic design seems to be common. It has to be tuned and adapted based on the environment, because there is a lot of uncertainty. For example, let's take this image. It's on International Women's Day, free consults, and it's about the skin consultation. And offer is available for 20 appointments only. Yeah. So if you consider this image, and this image is likely to go into the Facebook mobile, I mean, it's just the Facebook. And when people are scrolling in Facebook and in mobile, if you see the data, they scroll very fast, because right now the feed is getting a lot of data, a lot of similar data. Either you'll have similar mimes or similar tagging or similar profile picture. So people used to scroll quickly. And if this ad is coming in between, they need to grab only specific models, right? Like, for example, if in this picture, we have highlighted free consults and glow like never before. If you're you can take this PPT later and you can try to scroll this image as fast as possible. You will see free consults and glow like never before catching in your mind. So it's picture memory. So when these free consults and glow like never before is registered in people's mind, the mind automatically picks up the clues to figure out and finish the sentence what they're trying to say. So obviously people will say, okay, I'm getting free consultation. So these kind of images, it will have better visibility, better registry in people's mind. So this design, every graphic design that you're posting has to be fine tuned on the environment and based on the behavior, user behavior patterns. So that's the first one. And next is choose right between content and infographics. You need to have specific plan where to choose content and where to choose infographics. So infographics, it's information plus graphics. And here's the recent data. When people hear information, they're likely to remember only 10% of the information 3 days later. However, if it's the relevant image is paired with the information, the retaining capacity is 65%. That's how the human mind works. Even when we used to go to school, we read all the text. We'll not remember every word here and there. But if it's showed in an image, every mental model, every particular memory is mapped to an emotion. As Alexander was talking, he was telling the same point. So if I have to remember something, a memory has to be there. So that's why happy memories and sad memories are so hard to forget. So every memory needs to be mapped to a particular emotion. And infographics will give definitely a better emotion, better color perspective, and everything. So you have to choose between the content and infographics. And if you want to combine both, it gives better results. And of course, you need to consider the environment as well, which social media channel you're trying to push. So third one is landing users right. So this one, I've been using many products, and this one I'm finding it a little difficult. Many of them are not following this principle. So what this is, imagine if I'm seeing an ad in particular social media and I'm clicking on it, I'm landing elsewhere. If I have the app, I'm landing in the app, but I don't know what to do in that. So it's totally different from what the ad is saying, and totally what I'm expecting is totally different. This is not the problem of the product, but it's the behavior of the user. So when I'm seeing an ad, for example, lightning deal, you get a free dessert for every meal that you book till 12 p.m. tonight. So I'm clicking on the ad. I just land in a page where I see only the food. So I will not be sure, absolute sure, till the checkout part whether I'll have a dessert free or 20% off, whatever the offer is. Let's say 20% off. So I'll not be sure till the checkout time whether I'm getting 20% off or not. So what can be done is like when you're clicking on the ad, when I'm seeing the list of food that I want to select, you can just run a counter like this many minutes left for 12 p.m. So in that way, I'll know better that okay, this is the right place I am. I'll have full confidence to proceed to the next step, because of course in mobile or in web you need to follow multiple steps to check out. So I shouldn't be in a fear or in a doubt till the last step. So that's landing users right. When you are running a campaign, push them in a place where they'll actually know, because when I'm clicking on an ad, I'll definitely expect something. 20% off? Yes, of course. 20% off, I'm expecting 20% off. And when I'm landing there, I'll definitely expect where it cannot be the regular app or regular, if it's a new user, it will be still more confusing. So landing user right is one of the core principles. Next, no thinking. Yeah. Don't make users think. This is one of the basic fundamental factor in every UX, because imagine if there is a door and you don't know how to push or pull. So that's a confusion. That's you'll figure it out eventually, but at that point you will think for a moment. So that thinking shouldn't be there, because in my recent travel, let's take this example. So I was traveling in a domestic airways recently, and they served me dinner. And when I opened that dinner, I found a coupon. It says, peel here to win free gifts. And I was a little skeptical initially who would give free gifts, but since I've paid some decent amount in the airways, so probably they're giving free gift. So I just peeled it and it told me like you have won, congratulations, you have won a headphones, a wireless Bluetooth headphones, which was okay, it was fine. So what the here are the ways to redeem the gift. That's what it's mentioned. Go to land when once you land, go to this particular store in the airport, show this coupon and claim your gift. So that's how it was written. But I went to the store and then they told you have to pay additional $1,199. So I was asking why. It said free. Then they turned few pages in the coupon and they showed, you have to pay half of the amount of the product that you want. So why? Why is this happening? You need not make me think. You disappointed me that place. Disappointment and making users think will reduce the trust that they have in your product or in your marketing. Of course, you can do this campaign to attract more people, but at the end of the day, now I would never ever imagine to go back to that store again because I was disappointed. So you're losing one customer permanently. So whichever campaign you're running, instead of putting terms and conditions, just terms and conditions, you need to have a proper explanation because no once you believe that TNC is a fraud or a fault, nobody would ever click that again, no matter if you run a genuine ad or something. So you're losing the trust, the customer. So no thinking is a very good point to not to lose the trust. Time matters. So next one, it's a very important thing. I think many of the marketing experts would have already who are doing the marketing thing will always be aware of the time. So there are a lot of tools and insights, that provides the right time where your users engage your product. For example, it's a food. You have to if you're running a campaign for the lunch, if you want to put some deals for the lunch, 99 per meal or something, you need to put it between 10 to 11:30. Yeah, you need to start it by 10:30 or max to max 11, because who will be ordering lunch max to max will be the guys who are working in an office probably. Yes, so they'll go discuss about lunch only in the break. They'll not be discussing about lunch on the lunchtime or before few minutes before lunchtime there. So they usually plan that way. So when you push the campaign that time during their break time or when they have their tea break, so that time you'll have the maximum visibility of them seeing your phone and making plans for your lunch. So time really matters. And of course, if you're running a season sale for purchasing in apparels or something, you cannot push the sale on, you have to run a month before, not on the day of the festival. Nobody would buy on the day of the festival. And even if you're running before month, it's good to run it on the first week of the month because everybody's pocket would be full. And if you go later, then nobody would be ready to spend. Even though they saw your ad, nobody would be ready to spend. So time matters always. Time is very crucial. Visual psychology. So, nobody, I'm pretty much interested in psychology, and that psychology came when I was performing the close-up magic. That's one of my hobby. So, understanding people's their reaction, and it's about the psychology. So, visual psychology is how your brain absorbs and stores information. So, even brain is, it travels time. It travels time so quickly. Like, you can right now imagine your childhood memory and then plan about your future. And you can take back yesterday, what you were doing. So it's jumping here and there. So all these memories are mapped. And if you want to request an access to a memory, it will go to the emotion first. And it will see if this emotion has linked with any of these memories. So it will pick that memory and give it to you. So have a proper emotion tangled with the memory. So let's see an example here. This was a video, excuse me. So this was a video, and this represents infant mortality. So look at how it is being. The background is a hospital, it's a busy hospital, and they have created infant mortality in a way of celebrating happy birthday. So when you see that, you will definitely remember happy birthday. But they talk about infant mortality. This can be simply shown as, hospitals, people are working on a baby or trying to save a baby. This can be said like that, but they're taking an extra step to register a good memory and a bad memory together in this picture. So this is even now, if you are seeing this picture, probably after 5 years or after a month, if I ask you to think about infant mortality, you will definitely remember this image. So yeah, that's how I remember, and I'm trying to showcase it to you guys. So this is visual psychology. Map an emotion to a particular message that will say and it will stay strong in people's mind. Next, product speaks. So even though marketing is like, marketing is a skill that you sell the product which cannot be used by the people. So those theories are apart. But your product should always speak for you. Your job should be 50 to 70% in promoting the product, but your product should definitely speak the rest of the story. So UX or the developers who are creating the product or the designers, whoever crafted the product, also shares responsibility in fine tuning the product till it meets the user's needs. So it's not like somebody has completed the product, somebody has shipped, everything is working, and you just have to do the sales. Even though you try so hard, the sales will not go up. Or the marketing, even if you push a lot of marketing, people would buy it, they don't use it. So a lot of issues will come. So it's your responsibility as well as a digital marketing. You need to collect the usability testing issues, whatever the issues that people are facing, or whatever the features that we marketed is not working properly. You need to take back to the people and think about reiterating the product, making the product better. So make your product tell the story for you, and you tell the story to others, and so that when they try your product, the product should actually match with the story that you told to the people. So this is the concept. So when you are saying, when you're building up nice stories and doing, but the product, if the product did not speak the same story, then that's a huge fault. So you need to work with the work with the entire team. It's not single person's responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility in the product to the campaign that you're spreading, should the product should also reflect the same. Next is the journey matters. So user journey and personas are the a vital data that user experience people, who are doing the UX, will analyze it. So this gives the picture of how a user uses your product from end to end. And user personas are nothing but the people who you want to target. For example, if it's an e-commerce, do you want to target kids to adults, or only the people with age from 25 to 45? So these are the personas, and these personas will have definite expectations from your product. And if these set of people expectations are satisfied, you cannot be 100% satisfied. Of course, you need to try to satisfy. You keep doing that, so your product will automatically be used by that particular people. So this data can be used in marketing as well. So if you know how users purchase, at what time they purchase, what sort of products they're using, typically the analytics will give you everything else, but you can use other visual heat map elements like Hotjar and stuff. The tool, a lot of heat map tools are there. This will give a proper user journey, how they traversed your website, from where they dropped, and seeing it visually is different. Understanding in data is different. So use certain tools like heat maps to understand the journey. So craft a particular journey. Pick the people whose journey is stopped or halted at one point. Grab a count of it. Then try to crack his journey. What can you make him to go from this screen to another screen? So when you're trying to do that, you can run a campaign. You can run a digital marketing campaign in that as well. So there are a lot of loopholes. Identify the loopholes and turn that as your advantage so that you can project that story well, so that that loophole is filled. It's no longer until it no longer exists. So that's the thing about the journey of the user. Next is no obsession. So this is among many of the companies or many of the top management people. So people use so much case studies. Flipkart used this, Amazon used this, they resulted in that, and they ran this campaign, it went on like that. So many case studies. Of course, case studies are good, but there shouldn't be an obsession about it. So you cannot uh, reciprocate a particular campaign all the time. Even Amazon is Flipkart running campaigns every year will not result in the same thing. So there will be some deviation. So it lot of variables depend on it, like the time of the market and the people trying to interact with it, what customers they have. A lot of variables are there. So you need to first understand your users, your user journey, and run campaigns based on that. Don't get obsessed with too much case studies. And next, last we have assume less. So this assuming less is one thing that every UX people would do because according to us, the product shouldn't be built in four walls, should always come out. So when you are trying to imagine a campaign or working on a campaign or doing, figuring out storyboards for your product or everything, you have to step out of your office, go out of your comfort zone, and get the data from the real world people, and then frame it. If you sit in the four walls, you'll have some bunch of people. You cannot always have, if you create a product or anything, if you create it within four walls, will be assumed, and it makes the people happy who are in the room only, but not the users. So when you need users, you need to go to the users themselves. You need to find potential users, interview them, get their inputs. It's easy. Usually the campaigns that happen in around for startup is they usually go to a McD, and they'll go ask table by table like 10 minutes of their time. For the time they're giving, they'll buy a free Coke or something. So you get a free Coke as well as you talk to them for 10 minutes, get the feedback, the product or the marketing campaign that you're doing. Would you really be interested in this marketing? If you see this banner, would you really buy it? Get the the tips about the product improvement and stuff. So these are the data that even the AI or any automation tool that you're using, it will give. But talking in person, the traditional method, it really connects emotionally. So you can do that. So assume less, go out of your workplace, grab what you need from the users to run your campaign or doing whatever you're developing a product or whatever. So assume less is one final point that I like to add here. Then the last part we'll be talking about ripple effect. So after this, I'll be taking the questions. So ripple effect. Since the 10 points that you have taken home probably today, these are very small points. If you really see that this you might have been practicing every day without knowing, or you might have thought it as a very small things which can be avoided or something. But these small things will definitely create a bigger ripple among the products that you're trying to showcase or trying to sell. So when you hit the touch point emotion of one user, you're not only hitting on one user, but you're hitting a school of users, a mass of users. So it reaches everywhere, and they in turn, when they feel emotionally connect, that they themselves do the marketing for you. So it's a food startup that marketed this. So if you order something, you know, you order a main course, and along with the main course, they give you a dessert. They did not mention it anywhere, but at the time of delivery, when they are receiving it, they give another main dish or like buy one get one, but they did not explicitly tell. So if you ordered at the time of your delivery, the delivery boy hands you out another meal and says, we love to have you as a customer. So please share this to your neighbors or your roommates. So that guy goes and shares it to the roommates, and he'll be happy once again and saying, okay, I'm getting a free meal, so I should order more. So it's a word on mouth marketing, and that would create a bigger ripple effect. So taking UX into consideration will definitely give you a much bigger ripple or much bigger impact. So yeah, and yes, so thank you. I'll be taking the questions now. So You can, if you want to get connected with me, you can just Google Vignesh Shaipada. You will get all my channels.
It was wonderful.
My
Hi, it was really wonderful. We had a lot of inputs and insights from your presentation.